Good evening, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. All right, so today the NFL found out, of course, Cam Newton did not pass his COVID test. He is out. The game is postponed till Monday or Tuesday. The NFL has learned how to adjust. They've already moved the Colts and the Bears, I think it is, to 4 o'clock. Monday or Tuesday, they'll end up playing that game. And also Kansas City Chiefs practice squad quarterback, he tested positive. Now, Mike Farello has come out and said that there was a plan that the NFL was trying to get passed with the Players Association of actually putting the players up in hotels for the season. So that way, you can kind of monitor them, you kind of keep them away from everything. And I suggested this because, see, this is where the Dallas Cowboys have an advantage that, nobody else has. And maybe what it is maybe the NFL says, look, we're going to pay you a little extra bonus money to go ahead and say, we're going to stay together as a team. Because the reality is, the players stand more to lose money-wise if the season gets canceled than they do by being there. So if your real goal, if you're really following the rules and saying, we're not going out, we're not doing these things, we're not going to do risky behavior, then the reality is staying at a hotel should not be that difficult. Now, I'm saying there's some hotels that are better than others. But see, like for the Cowboys, we got a whole city right there at the start. You got luxury condos. You can go ahead and say, hey, man, you got a 3-bedroom condo. Your wife and kids and stuff can be here. You've got the whole hotel that you could take over. You can set up clubs so that way the players can go there and hang out and so on. They could be going PlayStation and Game Boy. I mean, it's not like my days when we were old and we didn't have anything but like 7 channels on TV. And the internet was like, what? What internet? What's internet? Internet? Is that something you use when you go fishing? It's an internet, so you use it in the harbor. Internet, yeah. You got everything in the world is at your fingertips. And if you can't social distance and be on board for the season, then maybe you need to find another career. But anyway, they're going to do something to try and mitigate this. The NFL's got more money than a lot of countries. They're going to figure this out. Now, Tristan Hill got fined $6,522 for the gator roll. That's getting kind of across the line. Take the guy down, but when you kind of roll, now there was another guy falling on him, so you could kind of have plausible deniability. But here's the thing, man. It's not like I said when I grew up, okay? When I grew up, it was basically screw the other guy, go for the knees. In fact, we used to have high-low blocks where, one guy would stand him up, the other guy would take him out at the knees. It's purely legal. Completely legal. It was taught. You were taught to take a guy's legs out from under him. They don't do that anymore because they're trying to realize that, hey, the more players we can keep on the field, the better the product, the better it will be for the fans, the better the game will be, the more money we make. So they're trying to take that dirty play out. They're also, too, because of concussions and all that, trying to take care of the dirty pits. But here's the thing. Here's the part that the NFL's not getting, though, about this. As they go through and they reduce the amount of practice, we're talking about practice now, not a game. As they're trying to add more games, they're reducing the amount of practice. And this is a problem because guys don't have time to practice the technique. And what you'll notice now in football, the reason you see so many broken tackles is guys don't know how to tackle or they don't practice enough to have muscle memory. See, here's the thing. What we were taught, we weren't taught to go hit, to try and hit the guy as hard as you can with your head and knock him down. No. We had form tackling. The way you want to tackle a guy is you want to get your head across the body, not into the body, across the body. Because right here, you got like a C. See that? You see this? You wanted to get your head across the guy's body like this, and then bring the other arm and your other arms together, wrap up. So you're hitting him with this, right here. This thing, okay? You hit him right here, boom, right in the torso, in the waist. Get across the body, boom, and drive through him. And when you drive through that guy, you drive him through into the ground. Now, you knock the wind out of him, because a lot of times you hear, because you're falling on top of his chest, but that wind comes back in. As opposed to me hitting you with my head and both of us get knocked silly, this is lost because we don't practice. So that's the first thing. As we go through and have less and less practices, we have guys that don't have the technique. So that's where they can help themselves by having more practice. And I don't know how I got off on this team. What was it? Oh, Tristan Hill. So Tristan Hill, I'm getting old, and I birthday is around the corner. I am getting up there. I'm really up there. Like I can't drive 55. Yeah, 55 is literally, it's not in the rearview mirror. It's right here. So I forget things, and sometimes I get talking and I forget what I'm talking about. But Tristan Hill, doing that gator roll, you're talking about pulling knee joints and ligaments and everything else, and that's how guys get hurt. And I'm not for trying to intentionally hurt somebody. If I knock you the heck out in a regular play, straight up, hey, and I get knocked out, hey, I'm going to say, hey, great hit. But if you're actually kind of intentionally doing these things, it's kind of So he got that fine, $6,522. Don't ask me what the 22. I mean, couldn't you say $6,500? I mean, what's the extra $22? Is that really going to make a difference? I mean, seriously, is it going to make a difference? I don't know if it will. But he also got fined $6,522 for a hit on Russell Wilson. Now, neither of these caused a penalty. I'm actually kind of happy, as unlike D-Law hasn't had any hits on the court. He's had pressure. Hasn't had the sacks, hasn't had the hits, but he's got pressures. I'm kind of happy that the guy's got a little bit of an edge and he actually got some pressure and hit the quarterback. Just hit him legally. Okay? No, don't get the cheap shots. I don't want to get to a point where, we give people cheap first downs. We don't want to get to that. And we don't want to hurt people unnecessarily. Now, speaking of being hurt, it's looking like Tyron Smith will be there tomorrow. Thank God, okay? And what they're going to do is they're kind of going back to everything being where it was normal. So Steele, the man of steel, is right tackle. You've gone back to Joe Looney Tunes back at being center, Zach Martin back at being guard, and Connor Williams being back at guard because they figure, okay, if Tyron Smith, something happens, then we don't have to worry about changing one guy as opposed to re-rotating the whole offensive line. And that's where we are. So I'm hoping and praying because, we got Myles Garrett. Seattle, the offensive line didn't do too bad against Seattle, but Seattle ain't got like Myles Garrett over there. Now Claiborne for the Browns is not there, as well as there's a lot of players for the Browns that are hurting. Actually, a lot of teams have a lot of guys that are hurting. And it's kind of crazy. I know Philly 500, he's out looking at houses with his wife. I think she's making him get another house because if you see Philly 500's videos, you see that big fat head that's on the wall. That big Eagles ugly ass fat head, okay? It might have been okay when they were winning and having a Super Bowl, but that fat head, that's in his bedroom. And when he tried to pull it off, the wall started pulling off with it. So I think his wife has finally said, your team is a dumpster fire, and I don't want to see that all the time. We need a new place. So they're out house shopping. But I can't wait till he gets back home because he's got to be hangry because it seems like on a daily basis, they literally lose another player. It was just like 2 days ago they were talking about, they were pulling up practice squad. They were signing guys to the practice squad just so they could bring them up to the active roster at wide receiver. They brought in Jason Peters, who was past his prime, okay? He's kind of petered out. And they thought he was going to take care of the guard situation for Brummer, who got hurt in the offseason. But then, of course, they lost the other tackle over there. So now they had to try and give him a raise and move him out to tackle. And it turns out his pinky toe, his toe, he got a toe trauma. His toe's hurting. And so now he's on injured reserve. So it's like literally where we are as Dallas Cowboys, I know we got Van Der Esch, I know we got Sean Lee, I know we got Awuzie, out, and Anthony Brown, and we lost Blake Jarwin, but we in a lot better shape than a lot of other teams out there. So count your blessings. All right, that's all I got to say on all that. It's time for me. I need to go get something to eat. I'm hungry. You can see I'm starving. I'm nothing but, skin and bones right now. Nothing but skin and bones, so I need to get me something to eat. Yeah, skin and bones on a big pile of fat. That's what I am. But anyway, I still need to feed the fat. All right, guys, tomorrow will be a big day. We're going to start at about 12:45 on our game day live stream. We'll be following, of course, our Dallas Cowboys against the Cleveland Browns, and then we'll watch the Washington against Baltimore, same time. That'll be on, and then then we'll see the dumpster fire that is the New York Giants, and of course we'll be live streaming while Philly 500 and its Eagles get beat. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you later.